she's asked an important question, and I'm going to expand on the question also for just a moment before I answer it. She said, how to experience pleasure? How can we experience pleasure? Should we even experience pleasure? And if we're not supposed to be attached to it, if we're told not to be attached to the pleasure, then should we even experience it? And if so, how do you experience something that's so transitory? There's a misunderstanding about what we call Vairagya. Vairagya refers to non-attachment. And there's a great misunderstanding about it, and I just want to take a moment to clarify that. Non-attachment is not the same as indifference. Non-attachment does not mean I don't care if the person sitting in front of me having a heart attack lives or dies, so I'll just keep eating my cheeseburger while they have a heart attack. Non-attachment doesn't mean I don't care what happens to the world. And I'm trying not to care about what happens to the people I love, because I've also been told to not be attached to them. Sure, let my kids go out and become, drug addicts and prostitutes and get hit by a car. I'm practicing non-attachment, as though somehow that were the goal. No. What non-attachment means is, I don't have any control over anything. Therefore, for me to hook my state of being into something in which I have no control is a recipe for disaster. I've planned my birthday party for Sunday, and on my birthday we're going to go river rafting. And if I've decided that all of my happiness depends upon the success of my birthday party, and it rains on Sunday, well, we can't go rafting. Now, I don't have any control over when it rains. The amount of my anticipation of my birthday spent river rafting is of absolutely no interest to the rate of evaporation of the water that's going into the clouds, to the density of the clouds, to the wind at which they're moving, to all of the factors that determine whether those clouds are going to release their water on us on my birthday or not. So I've hooked my state of being into something in which I have no control over. It's setting me up to be miserable. Even if it's sunny on my birthday, the next day I've got something else planned. Eventually it's going to rain. Eventually it's going to rain on a day I have something planned. And I'm going to be miserable. So what non-attachment says is, we do all of that which we do with full sincerity, full commitment. I mean, that's the doctrine of non-attachment comes from the Bhagavad Gita, in which the doctrine of sincerity of work also comes. So you've got a scripture that is emphasizing, stand up, do your duty. This is what you've been put on earth to do. You cannot run, you cannot hide, you cannot sit down, you cannot avoid it. You cannot pretend that you were born a pussycat. You cannot pretend that you were born to be an artist or a singer. You are a warrior. This is your duty. That same doctrine is then the doctrine that turns around and says, but you may not base your happiness on what happens as the outcome of doing your duty. That's what non-attachment means. Not that we don't do it, not that we become apathetic, not that we're indifferent, but that we realize nothing is in my hands. Neither whether it's going to rain, nor whether the seeds I've planted are ever going to sprout and give fruit. nor what type of fruit they might decide to give. So why in the world would I base my well-being, my emotional state, which really is the only thing I have any control over, on something that's out of my hands? So when you say how to experience pleasure, well, we all know how to experience pleasure. The only thing that prevents us is that mind game, the guilt that says I shouldn't be experiencing it. Or this is about to end. So I get a chocolate ice cream cone. With the first lick, it's pure pleasure. Nothing but pleasure. The world could evaporate around me and it doesn't matter. It's all about me and my chocolate ice cream cone in that first moment. Then the guilt kicks in. I shouldn't be eating this. Then, oh my God, it's almost over. I'm down to the cone. It's gone so fast. I should have savored it. We've lost the pure joy and the pure pleasure. So the only way to experience it is experience it in that moment, not what it's going to be in the next moment. Oh, it's a gorgeous sunny day, but oh my God, what if it rains later this afternoon? Well, so you've missed the joy of the sunny day right now because you're worried about what it's going to be like in the afternoon. Joy is available to us only in that moment. I no longer can sit here and enjoy the chocolate ice cream cone I ate last week. It's impossible. Nor can I enjoy a chocolate ice cream cone I'm going to eat next week. Right here, right now. My only possibility for joy is right here in this moment. So yes, experience it. You are supposed to experience it. But you're not supposed to be attached to what comes out of it. How long will it last? Will I still be able to squeeze into my pants or skirt tonight? Will my face break out? If you can remove the experience from all of the guilt, all of the fear, all of the concerns, all of the holding on to it. This ice cream cone should last forever. Sun, go away, go away, go away. I'm savoring my ice cream. If we can just hold on to that moment, then it's pure joy. I want to actually add one more quick point about this. Because you've come, or this group of you have come with the title of Bhakti, and it's so important also to everybody. Bhakti means devotion. It is said, and this is something I learned just a few years ago, and it took me a long time to understand what it meant. And then I heard Pujya Swamiji finally speak about it, and suddenly it all made sense. And I want to just share this with you because most of us don't realize this. It is said that Bhakti is actually the mother of Vairagya. Now this is very interesting because Bhakti is devotion, pure love, and Vairagya is non-attachment. So how could you possibly have non-attachment coming out of devotion? And the way that he explained it was so beautiful. What he said is, Vairagya is misinterpreted, mistranslated as non-attachment. It's not that we're not attached to anything. A better translation would be reattachment. What we have done is we have unattached ourselves from that which is temporal, ephemeral, fleeting, transitory, not in our hands, constantly changing, sure to bring misery, and we have reattached ourselves to that which is eternal, never changing, always there, always full, always complete. God, the divine, in any name, any form, it doesn't matter what your religion is. And so through the practice of devotion to the divine, again, in any name, any form, any religion, we automatically unattach from that which is transitory. The minute you've been given something real, you're no longer interested in that which is not real. The minute you've been given something unchanging, always there, you're no longer interested in that which comes and goes. So the practice of devotion attaches us so completely to the divine that what we call non-attachment, Vairagya, is the most natural outcome of it. We no longer have to say to ourselves, don't be attached to the fruits of your labor, because we've become so attached to the divine and so surrendered to the divine. But we know, I'm being carried, it's all being carried, it's all going to be okay. I don't have to tell myself, put down the bag. I know that. So that's a beautiful relationship that you may want to explore over the next few days, of how to let the devotion lead into a state of non-attachment.